Music Familia production. World premiere.
Hey, what's going on, Music Familia? It's the Ant-Man hanging out at the historic jail in Lincoln County.
What's up?
Hanging out with these fellas right here, Suicide Toyz. What's going on, fellas?
Hey, how you doing?
Say that again.
Same shit, different day. Just another day.
So, you guys had a killer set tonight, man, at the historic jail. What'd you guys think overall? Now, Jonathan, I know you're involved, so I can't really ask you.
I'm a little biased.
Yeah.
He may be.
So what about the rest of the guys from Suicide Toyz? What did you guys think of the show tonight?
Well, we're like every year, we're here to help out and just pitch in and, do what we need to do and make it the best event that we can do. Hey, it's the little things, it's the little people, it's everybody and everything that just makes it the event. It's the people, it's the bands, it's everybody, all the event staff, it's everybody, all the vendors and everything, sponsors and all that, absolutely, so it's not just us, putting this on, Jonathan putting it on, it's a whole collective, making sure that we're going to make the best event that we can do for Newark, Ohio.
Right. Jonathan, coming into putting this together, this obviously wasn't your first go around. What were some of the roadblocks that you hit getting this put together?
There's quite a few roadblocks. The fact that, the group that I am part of, which is the LCGPS, which stands for Lincoln County Governmental Preservation Society, I'm actually the vice president of that board. It's a 13-member board, and, everybody volunteers. They all have their own part, however. So we are granted the access by the county commissioners to actually run this building. So we don't own the building. The county still owns the building. However, we own the property the county owns the property that the jail sits on and the land behind the jail as far as that little grass area. But we don't own the parking lot. We don't own the market. So everything around us is owned by other places. Now, the parking garage is a county structure. But the Canal Market District owns the rest of it. So we had to rent that area from the Canal Market to make this event possible. So that definitely is a major roadblock. But the Canal Market District has been forthcoming. They're great people. They actually gave us a really good rate on, renting the whole facility. Matter of fact, they gave us a really good rate on just the pavilion area, and they gave us the rest of it. They just sort of threw it in. So I'm not, it's not a bad thing by any means, but it is sort of a hurdle that we have to get past because we have a limited means as far as, area that we have. So we had to rent some things, and so that's definitely a roadblock.
How did the community receive you guys wanting to put on a beer fest downtown?
It was received very well from, a lot of patrons. However, and breweries, of course, love it. But I would tell you, it's a very hard event to try to raise sponsorship money for.
Very hard.
But, all right then. But, so like, for instance, we hit up some, local financial institutions who did not want their name associated with it because it is a beer fest. So we definitely had some issues running into that, trying to raise sponsorship money. So our sponsorship goal really fell short, about half what we really wanted. So sponsorship is definitely another hurdle, and that's sort of a shortcoming where we need to improve moving forward.
Right. Looking forward to Suicide Toyz. You guys sent me over some tracks to play on the show. I absolutely love them. The one song I can never pronounce, I'm not even going to try now. Starts with a C, and
Was that Curse of the Scottish Play?
no.
Carceriana Marum.
Yeah.
Carceriana Marum.
I call it CA on the show,
That's
so I don't butcher it.
It's a Latin.
That's the
I call it CA on the show because I'm not like other podcasts like to pronounce the stuff properly. But
that honestly was was a song that came about kind of like in the grand scheme of things, like a movie soundtrack that we did.
We written for this jail.
We had written this song for the first, Jailhouse Rock.
So that initial song went to the first annual beer fest?
Yeah,
it was written
with another guitar player, Ben Moore, which we love him. Great freaking musician, great engineer.
in general.
But it's just one that was kind of like, I don't know that we're ever gonna really do that anywhere. So we kind of left that by the wayside. And I hate to be all like Def Leppard about it and be like, yeah, it's a stair step to get to where we needed to be. But I mean, it was just a song that we did to promote the event. And that's about it, honestly.
Yeah. What do you guys have on deck for 2019?
New album. Yeah. We've got a new album coming out, and other stories. It's going to be 6 songs, 7 songs of, well, I don't count Cad, but, 6.5 songs of new material, and it's going to be rocking, I mean, it's going to be Suicide Toyz. It's going to cut.
It's a bit different than what you're used to from the first songs that we released, but it's definitely, one of your old favorites, and Acid, is on it. So
yes.
That is a plus, so I will say that.
Yeah, that's one of my favorites.
I don't know what tracks are on it, but I will say that one's on it.
And that's the thing that we've been playing these songs for so long that we just had to record them. And it's like, okay, we've had the first album, which was an EP, had the first 3 songs, and the 6.5, 7 songs that we got now coming out is something that we've been playing around the tour, for a while now, and it's just something that we had to get down concrete.
Yeah. You guys stumped me right there. I was like, boom, mic drop. No, I checked out your set. I've seen you guys more than a few times, man. This is the first time we got a chance to sit down and actually do an interview. What are some of the pieces of advice you guys would give to some of the other bands out there doing what you guys are doing?
Don't try. No, honestly, hey, the cool thing about playing music, honestly, is the fact that you can do it at your own pace. And that's the thing. I mean, you can be as technical as you can be, or you can be as, honest as you can be. And we try to be as technical and honest as we can be and have that feeling and momentum, And once you know it's right, that's when you know it's right. You feel, you will hit the feeling and you'll hit that pocket, and that's when you know it's right. I mean, it sounds cliche to say, but I mean, honestly, once you figure out what your strengths are and what your weaknesses are, and you play to your strengths, hey man, Peter Buck, he did what he needed to do, Tony Iommi, he did what he needed to do, Lars and James, they did what they needed to do. I can go on and on and on, but hey, anything, even drums, freaking everybody,
I was just sitting here
and all that stuff.
I was sitting here with you guys, and I paused because I felt like air across the back of my neck.
You can geek out with that shit.
Right.
That's crazy.
One thing I do want to say on that last, question.
Yeah.
One thing that I would give advice to a lot of, especially younger bands that are coming up into the scene, we're old guys in the scene, so to speak. I mean, but one of the things that we do that a lot of young bands need to learn is the boots on the ground mentality. They need to realize how they promote a show. They need to realize that, you need to go out to shows and promote other bands. Bring your flyers. Distribute your tickets, do what you got to do. But a lot of these, bands these days, they have this mentality that, we play good music, so people just need to support us. And that's not how it works. You need to support the people that support you, and the only way you do that is get yourself out and around. So I kind of wanted to throw that out there. I wasn't trying to cut you off.
No.
But, I wanted to make sure.
Something else. I mean, and like all you younger guys out there, I mean, don't be red. Get your shit together and do your thing. And everybody will, and all those stars and moons will align, and do your thing, because the people that they're gonna be shitty with you, I mean, hey, that's whatever. You're gonna find that everywhere you go. But I mean, hey, you know, all you need to do is align yourself with the people that are gonna freaking promote you, and you promote them, and everything is gonna be cool.
You know, I always say, if you got time to hate, you got time to create. You know, everybody spends so much time on social media doing this, doing that, hiding behind a keyboard, when really you need to just be out there doing what you were. You know, just because there's social media, just because you can doesn't mean you should.
Right. Telephone tough, guys.
You know, yeah, exactly. Telephone tough, guys. Hey,
Shit about that.
thank you guys for doing what you do as artists and musicians, man. So where is your next show at? What's your next plan? This guy.
Well, this guy here, I don't really say much. Get that way down there. So our next show is at Muddy Creek. It's with, yes.
not our show.
It's our show, but it's not our show. We're playing with Flaw and Soil next weekend.
But we're playing in our other band as Enemy by Morning.
Our other band, Enemy by Morning, is the one that's playing that show.
So it's basically the three of us, and we have Brian Banks playing guitar.
So there's a reason why I also have you here. So fill me in on the scoop of the Enemy by Morning. What's going on with that? Like, give me the inside scoop, because I love you guys so much.
So from my side of it, you know, Enemy by Morning was what we did from 2009 all the way up until, you know, just the beginning, late 2014, early 2015. And so Brian had other interests that he pursued, and the three of us, you know, originally it was going to be he was going to join another band. It wasn't going to interfere with Enemy by Morning, but it ended up interfering. So we decided, and it does happen.
It does happen.
So we decided that, you know, out of the ashes of Enemy by Morning, that we were going to create Suicide Toyz. And so the three of us created Suicide Toyz in his living room. And so that was sort of created, and we've had a couple different members come in. We had Ben Moore playing guitar. We also had, for a short time, we had, you know, Tony Carter playing drums for us. So, but you know,
had a foot surgery.
yeah, Rob had a foot surgery. So, but you know,
And the hip.
Rob came back into it when we released our EP. And it's been the three, you know, it's been the three of us. Ben was with us for a while. Ben played with us for the first Beerfest. And then he decided he didn't want to play live shows anymore, and it's been the three of us ever since then.
You guys find it easier being a three-piece as opposed to a four and a five, or anything like that?
For me, yes.
I mean, because, you know, even like all you guys know each other pretty well, so I would imagine even having three, you know, three's a party there. So I mean, in the mindset, how do you guys sit down and battle the mindset?
I don't know if it's a mindset. It's just a state of, I don't know. It's for the money, it's good. But honestly, for the, you know, sorry, you know, all you Muddy Creeks and everything, you know. But honestly, you know, for what we create, it's just been us. So it's going to be us. So I mean, for me, I mean, I battled back through. I played guitar for like 35 years, but you know, not with Enemy. You know, we did 10 years, and I was just the singer. I was the face that ran the place. But you know, I mean, coming back into it, it was a challenge. I mean, and it was a challenge that I was up to.
Challenge for me too.
Yeah, and it was a challenge for him too. You know, he's hitting his stride with the singing and playing bass at the same time. You know, but I mean, you know, I ultimately think that honestly, you know, the three-piece thing. I mean, when you look at it, I mean, you've got, you know, Agent Orange, you've got Motorhead, you've got Nirvana. I mean, you've got a lot of good three-piece bands out there. So I mean,
there's a reason I wore this shirt.
Yeah. But I mean, you know, it's not really a eyes in the blinders or a really forward-thinking thought. We just do what we do, and we work to our strengths. Like I was saying before, we work to our strengths, and that's the main thing that we do. You know, so I mean, if that answers your question.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Oh my.
All right, Jonathan. So we're gonna be planning for the next one next year. Are you guys already planning for the next Beerfest?
Yes, we have the date already set. It's going to be August 28th next year. It's going to be the weekend before Labor Day, because this year, being Labor Day weekend, definitely affected attendance. It affected how many volunteers we could get.
Absolutely.
So we decided that next year we wanted to have it the weekend before Labor Day. So I think that's a smart move on our part. So like I said, August 28th next year, we are already set.
Right on, man.
We just need to move forward, and I've already tentatively, I'm not gonna say for sure, but I've tentatively got a verbal agreement from the World I Knew. They're already on for next year. So
Oh, wow.
They rock.
they definitely brought it. They brought it, and I've had a lot of people have good things to say about them.
Yeah.
They love us. They were talking about the fact that we played with them at Rockin' the Roost last year.
Yep.
And that they really liked our set then. They liked our set tonight, and so definitely there's a camaraderie there. And of course, I'll be talking to 8 Pound and seeing if we can maybe snag them again too, and then we'll see where it goes from there.
Everybody can check out lcjail.org,
Yes.
if I'm not mistaken, for all the information and stuff like that. I'm really excited to be a part of it, man. Thank you for allowing Music Familia Productions and myself and Siobhan to come out here and be a part of this,
for
man.
doing what you do and supporting.
Like, we absolutely love being a part of the community, and anything that we can do to better the community and set a good example for everybody around. That's exactly what we want to do.
Absolutely.
So make sure you guys check them out. Lincoln County Jail, lcjail.org. These guys are the Suicide Toyz. I am Ant-Man, and Siobhan is behind the camera.
Siobhan.
Thank you guys for doing what you do as artists and musicians, man. We appreciate y'all.
Thanks, buddy.
You're welcome. Thank you
All right.
Very much.